is just begging for some more functions, isn't it? Just begging for it. I bet if you really put your mind to it, you could make some functions. Yeah, homework. Get excited. Day 2 homework. No, I'm just not typing. I'm on my other monitor. Day 2 homework. Create a new function called renderColor that returns a div element, and call that function when adding that div to color item. In other words, this color div here, don't make that inside handle submit. Make that into its own function. Call it renderColor. And that function should just return the div. So when you append it to color item, get it from this other function where you move this stuff. Maybe you'll have to create an argument in there to get the actual color value in. But you can figure that out. Maybe I'm just trying to trick you. But I know you're hungry. You want some work. Bonus credit. Let's create another new function. Let's call it renderListItem. And let's use it to create the list items for each stat. So in other words, let's stop repeating ourselves. Instead of making this list item, then making this list item, then making this list item, let's make a function called renderListItem and call it 3 times. Once for each of the values from our form. We can do that. We don't need 3 functions, 1 for each of these. Just 1. And make it take arguments that'll let it spit out the correct li. But bonus credit, it's not enough. You're too ambitious. We need some super mega bonus credit. So I create another new function called renderList. Use it to create the list for each person's stats. And then call renderListItem from renderList, not directly from handle submit. Here's what I mean. Here we create the UL. Let's create the UL in a separate function called renderList. And then let's not just get back that empty UL and start appending things here. Inside renderList, let's make the 3 calls to renderListItem. And by the time we return back to handle submit, we've got the fully built list. Because generating each of these list items, that's more than handle submit needs to know about. All it needs to know is I need a list. And it's up to renderList to know how to render the list, right? It's up to it to figure out it needs 3 list items. Handle submit should just pretty much call renderList and then append the list when it's done. Most of this other stuff is going to happen inside renderList. Or another function that it calls, like renderListItem. Or another function that renderListItem calls, like renderColor. Get it? What's bonus credit without hyperfighting, though? Don't worry. Super mega bonus credit hyperfighting. Be strong. Do not resort to the use of inner HTML. Keep using document create element. And don't create any global variables. I suppose I could put that in here. That's not, no, that's a base requirement. Don't create any global variables. Pass arguments if you need data to go from one place to another. You can keep the variables we have. You don't have to take person form away. Get it? Just break this up into small functions. I know you can handle it. Some of you are already done in your head. Got it all figured out. All right, cool. Thanks for your attention. Go in peace.